好，好。 I am the only person in this room right now. I can hear my voice echoing in this room, in this space.
I feel like I'm in a game. Like, I need to avoid cars. And at the moment, I thought that I forgot my way, but now I think this is where I wanted to go. Here it's very loud because there's so much cars and scooters rushing around. But this part seems familiar. Do you know this one? This park?
I sort of recognize it. To me, it feels like just, I can't say just, but it feels like other parks in Taipei.
Yeah, I could understand that. For me, it's still new. And I also like how it's kind of hidden. Let's hope that here is going to be less noisy.
I feel like there are lots of places in Taipei, they are hidden. The buildings are very crowded. The alleys are complicated. Lots of stores or just houses are hidden in the city.
When I first arrived, for a very short moment, just for like very, very short moment, it reminded me because of these hidden small alleys. And you never know if you're gonna get lost or not, unless you know the city, of course. But it reminded me a bit on Rijeka, city in Croatia, which also has very small hidden streets and alleys. But the biggest difference between most of the towns in Croatia and this one is, well, I hope you're also noticing through this little window, little dreamy window that we have, it's all of the greens that it comes from literally everywhere.
Yeah. The other day, we were having the potluck event at the flat. One of the guests said, we're just talking about the weather, and then we started talking about the malls in Taiwan and how crazy they are and how lively they are. And it's about the tropical weather in Taiwan. All the plants and all the life just go crazy.
Like this, for example.
They grow wherever they want to grow, and they grow in the way they want to grow. Even the trees on the pedestrian, they seem to not care about anything. They just grow.
It's kind of way of freedom, no?
You can put it that way.
Like free movement. Not trying to trespass anybody, but still wanting to have its own life. I will mute myself shortly because it's going to be very crowded now. Do you know any city that you've lived in or been in that is also crowded as this one?
The city that I grew up in are very different than Taipei. Everything is so big. I'm from Taichung. The roads, the restaurants, everything has to be grand, wide and big. It's like saying, this is how we do things.
Is it bigger than in Taipei?
Sorry, I didn't get it.
Is it bigger than in Taipei? Your hometown?
I think so. If you're looking at the land itself, I think it's bigger. With fewer people.
I understand the question of population.
Yeah.
But remember also when we did this same thing, but in Zagreb, it was kind of, for me, it was kind of easier to connect most of the cities that I've been in or lived in with what I have seen there. But here, I will mute myself again.
Actually, I remember one part of London, Canary Wharf, reminds me so much about a certain area in Taichung. The tall buildings and the ever up light, but it's always empty inside. It kind of reminds me of the 7th district.
Maybe that's why I cannot completely connect. When I think about my hometown, the name is Osijek. I feel like I'm on a stage or in a dream, because the buildings, they're beautiful, but they're so small, look like a theater stage if you want to do some classical drama. Let's say, let's say they can be this, or the other size. I don't know if you can see it clearly, just a different type of house. And there is no layers like here. Layers of small houses, bigger ones, then suddenly building appears. It's very, let's say, organized in a way.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe that's why there is also not so many plants like this, just sitting and living their life on a corner of a house.
It's interesting how totally different cities that can remind you of where you have been. It's like a collage of memories, and like you said, it's like dreaming. Like you're what you've been through, your memories just like popped in whenever you see something that feels just a little bit familiar.
Also, I like what you mentioned. Was that today or yesterday? I think today. How also dreams sometimes remind you, like when you have different windows and tabs open on your computer.
Yeah,
That's also very interesting thought.
Now I'm looking at four windows, all different, and in front of me there's a window, but it's closed. I try to open the blinds, but the window is blurred. You can't really see what's outside. It's very much like my room that I'm staying in Taipei. I can't really see sun coming in from any of my windows. So I sometimes I just can't really tell time in my house. I feel like if I stay here in this room, it will be the same feeling. That's why I like to connect on internet. I find it very exhilarating to explore different windows. It's just one click away.
But do you feel like time on internet flows differently than time here? I would just like to share with you one interesting thing about time and how I sense it since I arrived here. Like, I do not sense it at all. Since I landed until this very moment, everything is one big stretched day in which I, in the same time, try to catch this time and time in Croatia to sometimes speak with my friends, and it seems completely impossible. Maybe internet is doing the same.
Yeah. I think when I spend time on the internet in the digital world, I feel time less. Like I can't really physical experience time. It doesn't comply to.
Like you can or like you cannot?
I cannot feel the time anymore.
It's also similar to dreams. And I need to now wait to, okay, here we go.
I feel like on the internet it's the same. Like what you're trying to find a way and like trying to get back to one thing that you started. And one, like sometimes we just open one browser after another, just one and one and one. And
you know what's the worst?
Remember what's the first that we want to search.
But also when you, for example, want to make an application for something and you have these many tabs, many different applications open, and then because just everything stretches, you just forget. But suddenly there is a deadline. So somebody is making a decision when time should stop for this application, yet you somehow feel very lost in this world.
Yeah. Like trying to find where all the time starts and ends and how we process in between. It's like drawing a map. Like it's geographical, but also very comprehensible through time and lost in words. Like even putting this feeling into words are difficult.
It's also a little bit like when you dance or when you draw, and then you also kind of lose the sense of time, except if it's called with a different name. Flow? Is it the flow?
I think it's the flow.
I like that word.
Yeah, flow. Just flow with it.
Like little people on these scooters when they drive.
Yeah. That sounds like Taiwan.
Yes.
When people ride scooters, they often have to, flow. Just like squeeze in, squeeze out. So it's kind of like.
But again, just to shortly mention about the time again, it's weird how you all the time think that you have time for something, like for example, time for this, what we are doing now, and then suddenly there's just this Zoom telling you that everything will end in 10 minutes.
Yes. And it's reminding us that something is going to end.
I'm being part of this exhibition. It's a performance happening here. Yes. Thank you, Shisha. I will mute myself now.
Me too. Now you're back in the same space.
And we are finally together. Very often.
Finally, one window.
The feedback. There's traces on your clothes. Yes. Excuse me, Joy. Yeah. It's time to travel. No. Bye.
Wenshan 结果还享受今天的画作。